Hi, I'm Steve. This is Fran. Today, it's Sub-Zero and Wolf versus Monogram. What do you think?
So really good comparison here. So a lot to dig into. So we'll break it up as we normally do. Let's try to break it down by category. So let's start with pro cooking with them and really pro ranges to start. So definitely the Wolf, American made, really good brand, has been around for a long time. Has kind of two different versions we'll talk about with really both, like the all gas pro range and the dual fuel. And we talk a lot about both of these and they're both really popular, but very significant differences in features between the two of them.
Well, first of all, Wolf's family owned, operated. Monogram was sold to Hire, which actually done a nice job, but they kept most of the Monogram jobs are still in the US and Kentucky, I think. But because of me, I look at it as two ways. I think Wolf's dual fuel range could be probably the best all around. Now, when I say all around, I mean, you have to decide what's right for you. But obviously, you've got 20,000 BTU and a lot of, 18 and 16,000 BTU burners. You've got their touchscreen, the Wolf Gourmet, which gives you the food and how you want to cook. They give you the time, temperature, rack position, which is kind of cool. And they've got that Vertiflow convection with 2 fans and extended elements, which gives you the most even heat. I like that unit a lot. That said, I like the Monogram unit a lot. Both Monogram and Wolf have the infrared grill and infrared griddle, right? But Wolf gives you more with the French top, gives you way more combinations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Huge. I mean, I think they have like 8 48-inch versus 2 on the Monogram side.
And then also when you get to the Monogram and the dual fuel, they have that, they both on the dual fuel have the nice cooking screens, the guided cooking. But with Monogram, it's on very specific models too. So on the 48, it's the combined grill griddle. On the 36, it only comes with the griddle model. Where Wolf, you really get that across the board in all the dual fuels. On the flip side, if you're comparing power and say, look at an all gas range, Wolf, have put a ton of innovation in their dual fuel, but maybe haven't upgraded the all gas as frequently, where that kind of maxes out at a 15,000 BTU compared to say a 23,000 BTU on Monogram. Not to say that you're ever really necessarily going to need anything that powerful, but who knows? It depends on how you cook and what you're cooking. That could be something to consider when looking at those too.
Yeah, it's interesting. Monogram's got the brass burners, which is supposedly better, although they do antique for anybody who lives in Back Bay. All that copper becomes green over time. But I think, again, 23,000 on all gas and dual fuel.
Yeah.
On Wolf, they really haven't. Wolf's kept that commercial look. They've got no controls, single convection versus the Vertiflow that we mentioned before. It's almost a tale of 2 different stories. I mean, I love the Wolf story that the family owned and operated, obviously, as we are, American made and everything else. I do think when it comes to supporting the purchase afterwards with technical support, I think Wolf's probably the best in the luxury area. So I'll give them that. But in terms of like this, I would say for dual fuel, I'd still say I like the Wolf for the combinations. I think their gourmet functionality is a little bit easier than the Monogram Smart Tech. But in all gas, I'm not quite so sure. I'd almost say Monogram might be a little bit better absent of their combinations, the better tech support in Wolf and everything else. I think their all gas needs a refresh.
Absolutely, and definitely, the Monogram too has done a good job incorporating the Wi-Fi connects and all the Wi-Fi features into there, maybe a little bit more so than Wolf for sure. One thing on all gas I would say I like better on Wolf versus the Monogram is the broiler on the Wolf, is that infrared broiler, where the Monogram doesn't have that in the all gas. But so, it's little things, but I think they both kind of bring a lot to the table there, and Monogram's certainly promotional a little bit more so than the Wolf.
Less expensive than Wolf?
Yeah.
It's a good option if you're looking to spend less money because it looks good with the brass, and then you get up to $4,500 in rebates on top of lower prices. So it's compelling. Maybe if you don't want to spend as much money, you're probably going to spend $10,000 less in a package for Monogram at least. Yeah. So from that standpoint, you'd give Monogram from a price standpoint, spending less. Wolf's not promotional. They give you like $1,000 back
Yeah,
on
if you're
their,
getting a range, refrigeration.
on their Cove dishwasher,
Exactly.
which is $2,600.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So you got to get a little bit more to get that kind of savings. Both also, we should mention, offer induction ranges in 30 and 36 inch as well. Both really good induction ranges. Actually, both really nice induction tops. Easy to use on both, I would say too. And the controls are really nice.
Controls are better on the Monogram, but it sticks out way too far.
It does. It
It's
is a
like
deep range, a very deep range.
You got to look at it before you buy it and say,
Yeah.
whoa, that's a deep range.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't have, again, on the Wolf induction side, you do get their gourmet functionality and the Vertiflow convection. So their dual fuel and induction is very similar. I like the Wolf induction a lot. I think them and Miele are probably the best, but in this, again, you're talking about the price of Monogram versus, say, the better functionality of a Wolf, and look at the depth if you're considering a Monogram. I do love their touch control tops. Really, really sweet.
Kind of with the little kind of circle. It makes it a little bit easier for people that may be a little, against the touch screens too. It kind of makes it a little bit easier there.
Very nice.
So, any rankings here?
I would say induction, I go with a Wolf.
Yeah.
For dual fuel, I'll go with the Wolf. All gas, I'll give it a Monogram.
Yeah.
Asterisk. You have to decide, your own budget, obviously.
So now let's move to refrigeration. Both these brands definitely play heavy in built-in refrigeration. Monogram also does do a freestanding option where you don't get that with Sub-Zero, but refrigeration in general, let's talk obviously built-in where you can kind of compare the two of them.
I do like the Monogram. They've got first of all, they're both 2 evaporator, 2 compressors on both. So but I do like the Monogram from, they have the airflow under each shelving, which I think is really kind of smart. They've got that quick thaw, quick freeze on the bin. They've got a nice ice and water dispenser on the freezer side, so it won't leak, probably. But again, when you talk about Sub-Zero, you're talking about a company that's been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, they give you like so many different combinations. And the pro side, I can't believe no one's copied their nanotechnology shelving, right? You spill something on a Sub-Zero, it congeals that spill, versus everybody else where that spill just goes in and you're cleaning little droplets of juice for the next 6 months, right? I do think that the vacuum seal no one's copied, which keeps the air out. The magnetic crispers, nobody's copied. The air scrubber, nobody's copied. You've got
I know, it is funny.
And it's been out for so long, right? They have this new split climate with fans going up and down, so it more evenly distributes the temperature. I do think this is the best refrigerator. Once again, kind of like the ranges though, you're gonna have to spend more money for it.
Yeah, definitely. And Monogram has kind of just redone their whole platform, columns, about a year or more ago. The bottom mounts have just kind of come out over the last couple of months with a really nice stainless steel interior, the fresh vents, like you said. Sub-Zero just has way more as far as options there too. So Monogram refrigerators, columns or bottom mounts, are all really made to be integrated, fully flush in a 25-inch cabinet. They can have other ways, and they do a couple side-by-sides too. But Sub-Zero has a lot of options. So if you're looking at their professional built-in series, compressor up top, I mean, we're talking everything from 30 to 48, French door to side-by-side. I mean, they really run the gamut of everything there. And then they do integrate it as well, too, on the 30 and 36.
Huge integrated. I mean, in 18, 24, 30, 36. I mean, they have the most models. They even have that 48-inch French door. Nice thing about, everyone's going to these 6 drawers, 3 drawers, or whatever, like Thermon and SKS. But that makes the top shelf like 6'6".
Yeah.
It's only 6 feet when you do a French door with 1 drawer. So, and they do make that in now a 48-inch French door, something they said they would never do 15 years ago. So, but I think, again, price standpoint, Monogram is certainly going to be cheaper, but the better refrigerator is the Sub-Zero.
Absolutely. So Sub-Zero
But there's
there.
room for either customer, I think.
So finally, let's go to dishwashers and really comparing here the Cove and the Sub-Zero Wolf family versus obviously the Monogram.
I don't love the Monogram. I don't understand why it's so expensive. I mean, Cove is $2,600, 41 decibels. It gives you the adjustability. They kind of copied the better of Miele's. I really like the dishwasher from a washing standpoint. It is $2,600, but you get $1,000 when you're combining with other things. I just don't particularly love the Monogram. So I'm just going to give this to Cove because
Yeah.
it is a better dishwasher. But I think you're almost better off going with a regular G dishwasher than the Monogram.
Well, that's it too. With the Cove, it really is the Cove dishwasher, and it's not, with the Monogram, it's like you said, it's kind of like the Profile or a Cafe, just with a stepped up badging and things like that. So not a lot of differentiation there between
A lot
the
more
lines.
expensive.
Where the Cove is really, a solid dishwasher there for sure. So it sounds like we're going Cove there, and I think that's all the categories.
That is, and you're going to get $1,000 rebate. So the Cove and the Monogram are going to be the same price if you buy all.
Exactly.
So that's it. If you like the video, please hit the subscribe button, and thanks for watching.